Welcome into ACC softball. Tonight, Virginia Tech is looking to win their 5th consecutive ACC series, while Georgia Tech hopes to bounce back after a rough series opener here in Blacksburg. Taking a look at the latest up-to-the-minute ACC standings, Virginia Tech currently in 3rd in the conference. Remember, the top 4 teams at the end of the regular season get a bye in the ACC tournament. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech is currently sitting in 9th. Alongside Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. And Kat, Virginia Tech, listen, there was a power outage in the building last night, but somebody forgot to tell the Hokies we saw a power surge yet again from their electric offense, led by who else? Jordan Lynch.
Well, their offense was held at bay last week, a whole series against Virginia without a home run, but 4 extra base hits, 9 RBIs from 5 different players. That does give them the RBI lead in the ACC. But as you mentioned, Jordan Lynch, the kingpin of this offense, she got it going early. She had a single in her first at-bat, but then she displayed the power. She had the walk-off home run to put the run rule in effect for the Hokies. The sophomore continuing to be sensational.
And one of the top hitters in the ACC. We go from offense to defense. Holly Medina with the Gold Glove plays last night here in Blacksburg.
Well, Holly Medina did it all. This play there in the air against the fence, robbing a home run. As you see, number 3 Sports Center top 10 play this morning, but she wasn't done. She then goes off to left field. Crashing into the wall, a little face plant there, but she hangs on. The self-declared ball hawk went and tracked everything down in the outfield last night.
And got up with a smile on her face. Howell Medina and the Yellow Jackets offense fair against Bree Carrico. That's a different story. The sophomore is having a breakout season, 12-0, and leading the ACC in ERA.
Well, Bree Carrico is stingy when it comes to pitching. She goes right at hitters. Hard to consistently get quality at bats against the right-hander.
Going right at Alyssa Willer to start things off here in game 2 of this 3-game series. And there is a strike.
And Carrico and Mazzarone are such a great pair because Mazzarone more down but can elevate if she needs to. Carrico more up, can go down if she needs to. So drastically different pitchers to have to plan for.
Chopped over to third. Lynch is there. 1 away. Georgia Tech's offense came into the series averaging 6 runs per game, but last night they were held to 4 total hits. Only 3 players in the lineup getting a hit. Alyssa Willer was one of those. Came into this series hot, but again, she's retired to start things off. So here comes the start defensively last night for Georgia Tech, Holly Medina. Shows bunt, strike 1. Medina, the transfer from Cal. We're talking about her defense. She's been clutch at the plate as well. 3 walk-off hits this season, including 2 walk-off homers.
When you look at her size, not an overpowering figure in the batter's box, but packs a punch. Coach Morales talks about how well she settled into the 2-hole. Saw her try to bunt. She can do it all. Small ball, but also, as you mentioned, leave the yard.
Sends one into the gap. It'll drop in for a base knock. And Medina having a strong series. First base runner of the night for Georgia Tech. Well, you look at Bree Carrico in the circle. And her scouting report. Kat, it's interesting. Pete DeMoore was telling us about how her preference was to come out of the bullpen early on in the season. Most of her appearances were of the relief variety, but lately they've turned to her as a starter, and she's been lights out.
Well, yeah, you look at her appearances, and I even asked him, I said, you know, she has 24 appearances, but at the time only 6 games started. I said, really, the moment doesn't get too big for her. She's comfortable coming out of the pen, but you can put her in bases loaded, no one on. It's the same way in her mind of how she attacks things.
Tucker, however, gets a hold of that off the top of the wall. Rounding third and heading home to score. No, she's thrown out. Medina out at the plate. Eileen Morales having words with the umpiring crew. Great relay as that one initially hit off the bat of Grayson Tucker, who's over at second. We'll see if we do have a challenge as the umpires will get together to discuss tonight's crew. Greg Craps, Jill Poole, and David Reinecker. And we will have our first challenge of the night, courtesy of Georgia Tech.
Well, Tucker does a great job taking this pitch off the wall. I was trying to watch in real time. I thought Morales was holding up Medina. I think they're going to argue not if she's safe or not, but if there's obstruction.
Ooh, that left foot in front of Medina, in front of the plate.
Yeah, but do you see Medina having to try to change her slide to make sure she can get to the plate? A catcher does have to have the ball before obstructing the plate, and that's where that foot was on that back corner prior to catching the ball. So we'll see how they review this. They did change the rule this year.
Well, last night it was Zoe Yeager starting catcher. Tonight it's Kylie Aldridge. You could see her left foot.
Yeah, the rule used to be that left foot had to be inside the chalk line. Or, well, excuse me, the rule is that left foot has to be inside the chalk line before you get the ball. And the fact that it's camped out there and it's a closer play. But we'll see how they rule this one.
The call stands. It is confirmed. The tag made by Aldridge. No obstruction. Kat, what do you think?
Well, they did change the rule this year to where if you make plays and the runner is out, and I think Medina was obviously out there, but her foot still was the question. Now it's whether Medina had an option to be able to get to the plate. But I do think with the throw and everything, that was an obvious out.
Addison Leshper over to first, and there you go. The threat over just like that. And it's still scoreless as we move on to the bottom half of the first inning here from Tech Softball Park in Blacksburg. The 11th highest scoring offense in the nation, averaging more runs per game than most ACC schools, just over 8 runs per contest, led by Addison Foster at the top.
Well, Addison Foster currently at 12-game on-base streak. She is what gets this offense started. The lefty, typical Virginia Tech fashion, you're not going to see a lot of small ball. She'll drive the ball, but she sets the table. And as we mentioned, Jordan Lynch right behind her in the 2-hole.
Going up against Sydney Watts, the sophomore out of Youngstown, Ohio, who's coming off a complete game shutout Wednesday night against Georgia Southern. There is ball one to Addison Foster. Last month, Watts tossed Georgia Tech's first no-hitter in 5 years. 9-0 win over West Georgia. But behind here, 2-0 to Foster.
Watts has some good stuff, and they like giving her opportunities, but one thing Morales has pointed out over and over is the fact that she has to be able to go through the zone and attack the zone. Right now, behind 3-0, not how you want to pitch against Virginia Tech.
So a 4-pitch walk to start off the bottom of the first inning. Foster reached 3 times last night, and again tonight here in game 2. Here comes one of the stars from game 1, Jordan Lynch, leading the team in batting average, home runs, doubles, and stolen bases. Head coach Pete D'Amore has called her one of the most overlooked players in the country. We welcome you into Blacksburg, Virginia. Game 2 of this 3-game series between number 10 Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Scoreless here in the bottom of the first inning. The Hokies took game 1 in convincing fashion last night, 10-2 in a run rule victory. Their offense up here in the bottom of the first inning, one of the highest scoring offenses in the nation, averaging just over 8 runs per game. Count 1 and 2 to Jordan Lynch, who delivered the decisive hit last night, a walk-off 2-run homer to end it. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 on the night for Sydney Watts.
Well, such a big response there from Watts. She's going to throw the mid-60s. You're going to see a little bit of everything. Rise, drop, curve, screw. She needs her changeup to be a factor. It doesn't have to be in the zone. It has to be something that Georgia Tech can see. But as we mentioned a little bit ago, she has to be consistent in the zone. We saw the 4-pitch walk to Addison Foster, the response to Lynch, but she still has to retire the next 2, but she has to stay within that strike zone.
There is no relief for opposing pitchers going up against this Virginia Tech lineup. Nora Abramovich, a dart to center field right at Holly Medina. 2 away after the leadoff walk to Foster.
I know when you're hitting, you don't really have an aim at outfielders, but Virginia Tech, I try to keep it out of range of Holly Medina after what we saw last night.
Made some tremendous defensive plays in center. 2 away for the cleanup hitter, Kylie Aldridge. Aldridge, part of this Virginia Tech offense that is top 10 in the country in home runs, doubles, batting average, and hits. Another stellar offensive season under Pete D'Amore.
Well, Aldridge really got the scoring going last night as she came in and first pitch she saw, deposited that out in right field. So, as you mentioned, getting better every year, but just a hitter that's so hard to strike out. Only 2 strikeouts on the year, and when you talk to Coach D'Amore about what is it, he said getting 2 strikes doesn't faze her. It doesn't make her blood pressure rise. She just will waste pitches until she gets something she can get the barrel to.
4th toughest batter to strike out in the nation, but there is a rare swing and a miss from her. 2 strikeouts in 123 at-bats.
Well, right now, Watts using that screwball away from the lefty. And it comes in a little bit slower, so it's 63 there, and you just saw Aldrich ahead of it.
Pops it up. Tucker is there. And Virginia Tech will strand a runner. We are scoreless after 1 in game 2 between the Hokies and the Yellow Jackets.
ACC Softball is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
The Run for Remembrance taking place today, marking the 19th anniversary of the 2007 Virginia Tech shooting, the Virginia Tech Day of Remembrance taking place today. The flags at half-staff as well in honor of that anniversary. Back here in Blacksburg as we begin inning number 2. And Bree Carrico back out in the circle for the Hokies, facing Reese Hunter. Hunter last night with a couple of base knocks, 2 of Georgia Tech's 4 hits on the night. These two teams in interesting positions when you look ahead to the postseason, as Hunter, 3rd hit of the series. She's over at first. Virginia Tech currently 10th in the top 25 rankings, but Kat, they're 19th in the RPI. They obviously are trying to get in position to host a regional in the postseason. That's a pretty big discrepancy, however, between the rankings and the RPI.
Well, RPI is going to go off your strength of schedule, your non-conference strength of schedule. Virginia Tech did play 2 SEC teams that were ranked at the time that they played.
On to second for 1. And just beating it out is Vukadinovic.
But for the rankings, it's a lot of the eye test of how well are you playing, coaches and pollsters' opinions. And here you see Vukadinovic with good speed, just beats that out.
Yeah, it is. Usually you don't see that much of a difference between the national rankings and the RPI.
Well, and it's still a question of what it's really going to look like this year, because for the first time this year, the committee is also going to have DSR, which is Diamond Sports Rankings, on the team sheet. And that is a whole nother measurement factor because it talks about the margin of victory. If you have teams where, like, let's say your best hitter or your best pitcher is out of commission, then it takes that into account. So, but the Hokies have a lot going for them right now, and I would think they are going to very strongly be in the conversation for the top 16. The record speaks for itself, and the way they're playing in the ACC right now is making a statement.
Meanwhile, Georgia Tech with the stolen base there. Vukadinovic takes second after the swing and miss by Madison Duffold. Virginia Tech with just 6 losses on the year, half of those by only 1 run. And all 6 losses by 10 runs total. They have been in every game, and there is a strikeout by the Hokies starter, Carrico, her first of the night.
Well, Carrico here, that's a nice changeup that just absolutely fools Madison Duffel. And then she uses that rise ball away. You see it tail up and away from Duffel. Under that for the big second out. First swing and strikeout for Carrico.
Emma Simon chops one foul. Carrico just spectacular on the season. Bree Carrico leading the ACC in ERA at 1.25, 12-0 on the year, and 12 straight appearances coming into tonight without allowing more than 1 earned run. Pete Demore has called her the most improved player on the team.
And we talked about how most of her appearances had been out of the bullpen, and Pete Demore real quick to say, I made the point to tell her, hey, you are not a relief pitcher, which is why they have started to put her in the starting lineup more often in the last few weeks. A lot of times you'll allow a pitcher to get comfortable in a role, and then when you need them to fill the other role, all of a sudden they're saying, well, I'm only a relief pitcher. You want a pitcher to have the mindset to go in at all times.
5th best ERA in the nation.
These days, an ERA under 1 is almost unfathomable.
Yeah.
So if you're keeping an ERA under 2, the way offenses are swinging it, that is a very high, or well, excuse me, a very strong ERA for a pitcher.
The 2-2 with 2 away. This one belted to deep left center field, and it's gone. A 2-run blast by Emma Simon. For the second night in a row, Georgia Tech jumps in front first.
Well, this pitch just not up enough. That's below the belt on the inner half. And Simon takes advantage, driving that one to left center. Height-wise, that pitch just wasn't moving in either direction. If that's a rise ball, it needs to be higher. If that's a drop ball, it needs to start lower.
Dropping down the bunt is Reagan Wall. That was actually foul. 5th home run of the year for Simon. And I guess the announcer jinx has already kicked in. We were going through all these impressive stats from Carrico. Her streak of 12 straight appearances without allowing more than an earned run is over.
I do feel like tonight Georgia Tech has come in with a game plan. Holly Medina and Grayson Tucker both barreled up balls in the first inning, so they were not trying to figure out what Carrico was using. They were able to attack the upper part of the zone and drive it hard. I'm going to have to use that changeup early and often, I feel like, against Georgia Tech here.
Yellow Jackets average 6 runs per game, and their head coach Eileen Morales said, listen, we are not going to beat this Virginia Tech offense with small ball. We need home runs, and we need home runs with runners on base.
She wanted them to cash in with runners on base, which was interesting to me in the first inning. Holly Medina was on base. Grayson Tucker hits it to the wall, but you only have one out. And you have Leschber and Hunter coming up to bat.
That one off the glove of Lynch.
And with Hunter still coming up to bat that inning, someone who was seeing the ball really well in this series so far, it was a gamble while it's early in the game, a gamble I was kind of shocked she took.
For the first 8 batters have hits off of Carrico. Home run, a double, and 2 singles. It's a 2-2 to Wall.
Nice pitcher's pitch right there. Does miss outside just a little bit, but you see Carrico trying to use the drop ball more now. Elevated pitches are getting barreled, working down in the lower part of the zone.
Wall chops one over to second. The top half comes to an end, but Georgia Tech strikes first. Emma Simon with the long ball, her 5th of the season. And we'll see how the Hokies respond. They're coming up in the bottom half next. You're watching ACC Softball presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Busy day on campus here at Virginia Tech. Football, baseball, softball. Pete Demore in his 8th season in charge, 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. Looking to guide his team to their 7th straight regional. Having another fantastic season, 38-6. 6-1 at home. This is only their 8th home game of the season, Kat, and the regular season is over in a few weeks.
Well, you talked to Pete about scheduling, and early in season, he says, you don't want to be playing here in Virginia. It is cold, it is bitter. He said, we also know that most likely at some point in postseason, we're going to have to go on the road. You know, you have to be a top 8 seed in order to host a super regional. And so he said, I want to test our team, but still, usually at this point, you at least have double digits. You have a couple midweeks at home, and they haven't even had a midweek game at home yet.
First 29 games of the season were either on the road or in a neutral site location. Meanwhile, they are currently checking the circle after the first 2 pitches of the inning by Sydney Watts.
Well, it looks like there might be a divot where the cleat lands. I don't know if they think it's soft or it needs to be filled.
We're getting the grounds crew on the phone. I want to remind you, next Saturday, I've got a couple of softball game 2s in both of these 3-game series. Virginia Tech playing host to North Carolina. That is going to be a home run derby here in Blacksburg. That game at 3 Eastern. Then it's 12th-ranked Florida State squaring off against Georgia Tech at Russ Chandler Stadium. The doubleheader will be right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. So a little bit of a delay here. We were talking about the busy afternoon and evening. You had the first spring football game of the James Franklin era across the street earlier today. Baseball starting about an hour and a half ago, and softball finishing things off. But we'll see when they do finish as the grounds crew is out there to clean up the circle a little bit, Kat.
Yeah, it looks like there is a spot. I actually think it's sticky, so it's the clay that's underneath has been divoted into it to where now it's kind of a hard lump that you can't land on. So it looks like they're going to rake that out, tamp it down. There hasn't been any rain, so it being too soft is not, that's usually only something that happens with whether it's precipitation or overwatering.
Now, we didn't see this issue come up through the first inning and a half. We didn't see either pitcher really motion or complain about it.
Well, and it's probably a result of the fact both of them might land in the same spot. So when you have 2 people landing in the same spot, you get a hole that starts to dig. And after a while, depending on angles, there can be different ways you land. And if your cleat doesn't land flat, you can be at an imbalance. Obviously, Sydney Watts.
She doesn't seem too stressed by it.
Not stressed, but threw 2 balls and said, hey, I need this fixed. I was trying to work through it, but now I need it fixed.
So Georgia Tech has the lead, and listen, this is a big series, a big home stretch for them. Trying to make the postseason, they're kind of on the outside of the bubble. They're 47th in the RPI entering the series. And remember, you take into consideration the RPI and whatnot, and also you have to be at least 500 record-wise to qualify for the postseason. Right now, they're 27 and 23 overall.
Yeah, for Georgia Tech, the first key they have to check off is staying above 500. If they can pick up a win in this series and or their series against Florida State, that's the only ACC series they have left, it'd be huge for them and their resume.
Now 48th in the RPI, but still looking for their first top 25 win of the season.
Well, and you see against the top 25, 0-10. And while that helps your strength of schedule, obviously the committee going to look at wins and losses against the top quad and the bottom quad.
So Watts delivered a 4-pitch walk to Yeager to start things off. Now first pitch ball to Chatfield after they were working on the circle. This one lifted into the stands. Eileen Morales in her 9th season in charge, coming off an NCAA tournament appearance a year ago. Been there a couple times since 2022. Chatfield rips one to center. On the run is the speedy Medina. And she just tracks down everything.
Off the bat, just watch her first step, and she gets herself in a great direction and then Obviously sprints through that one, but I thought off the bat that might actually get down, and then Medina, there she is.
Virginia Tech has absolutely smoked 2 balls to center, but they've been hauled in by Medina. Here's Rachel Castine. She was robbed of a home run last night by Holly Medina in center on a play that made the Sports Center top 10 list, number 3 on the top 10. Castine, 9 homers on the season. Over to second. Tech still without a hit through the first 7 at bats. Virginia Tech, that is.
Well, Virginia Tech is getting barrel to ball, as you mentioned. 2 line shots to center field. That one a hot shot right at Duffel there. Excuse me. Yeah, Duffel there at second base.
2 away now for Gabby Mizell, freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Started every game in her first season, delivered a grand slam Wednesday night against Liberty, the first of her career. The Hokies as a team with 79 home runs this year, 9th most in the country. One from Watts, chopped right into the glove of Leshper, hustles over to first. Second straight inning, leadoff hitter walks but is stranded on the bases. Georgia Tech with the lead, and we'll talk to their head coach, Eileen Morales, coming up after the break. Beautiful evening in Blacksburg. Georgia Tech with the 2-0 lead as we hit the 3rd inning. Now joined by the Yellow Jackets head coach, Eileen Morales. Coach, your team coming off last night's performance held to 4 hits, but they have been aggressive at the plate tonight. What did you say to them before game 2?
I mean, I think it's a similar, we got to go swing our bats, okay? We've got to hit for extra bases. This is a great offense in the other dugout, and so we've got to match that.
Coach, you went out there with Sydney Watts today. What is the conversation as this game goes against a very potent offense?
It's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us, and we'll probably see all of us.
All
yeah.
right.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Sting them.
There you go. Yellow Jackets already matching their total from last night with 2 runs off 4 hits. Another great crowd on hand for the second game of this 3-game set.
Yeah,
Top of the lineup due up for Georgia Tech.
We get to know coaches as we cover games.
Yes, we do.
And at the break, I almost asked her, are you going to throw the whole gauntlet of arms at us tonight? And I should have, because we would have been prepared for that answer. But I also like that she's had that conversation with her pitchers, because they'll be prepared, knowing, hey, my job is to go until they think, hey, they're timing me up, it's time to make a switch. And then you have everyone ready in game to be able to say, hey, I'm out here 1 pitch at a time, 1 out at a time for as long as you need. And when the switch has to be made, everyone's ready for it.
Offense coming through. First time around, the Georgia Tech offense went 4 for 9 Here is one of their elite hitters, Alyssa Willer, all ACC sophomore. And it misses. Willer with 4 home runs in her last 9 games. Couple last Sunday against South Dakota State. Two and two.
Nice change up there by Carrico. That's a pitch I think she can use more against this Georgia Tech offense. To me, it looks like they're looking for the ball up in the zone. So she's going to have to attack down in the zone and then expand.
This one mashed to deep left center, and it's gone. Georgia Tech with their 2nd homer of the night. Alyssa Willer with number 13 on the season. The Yellow Jackets have come to play on Saturday night in Blacksburg.
Well, this time a rise ball, and it's up more, but it is over the plate. Willer able to get barrel there, almost the exact same spot that Emma Simon parked her home run. You can tell Georgia Tech looking for that ball up in the zone, barrel getting to it tonight.
Well, right now, they are absolutely getting to Carrico, who had been dominant over the past few weeks. 2 home runs, a double, 2 singles. You know, if you're Virginia Tech, at what point do you say, okay, when is the right time to potentially make a move?
Well, you have to think of 2 things right now. One, your offense hasn't scored yet. So do you bring in Mazzarone right now? Probably not.
This one to left field, and it's stuck in the base of the wall as Abramovich takes it out. There's the 2nd double of the night for Georgia Tech. Holly Medina 2 for 2.
You don't necessarily want to bring Mazzarone in right now unless your offense gets it close enough that you're in striking distance, but at the same time, there is a point in time, and it's probably here soon, where you make a change just to change the timing. You see here, Holly Medina, another great job going with. She has gone with the pitch twice tonight to that left center gap. And you can tell Georgia Tech, mentioned a couple times, they were ready for that rise ball, and the lefties are ready to drive that ball opposite field.
There is action in the Hokies bullpen. Freshman Avery Layton warming up. Grayson Tucker at the plate. She launched a double in the 1st inning. There is Layton, 7-1 on the year. Bree Carrico coming in it tonight on a heck of a run. 1 earned run allowed in her last 13 innings, 12-0 on the year. But Georgia Tech breaking through early against her. When
you're a predominantly up ball pitcher, and Carrico likes to favor her rise ball more than her drop and change, against power hitting teams, you have to make sure your spots are on point, because it is so much easier for someone to drive a rise ball out of the park than it is a drop ball.
Evens the count to a dangerous hitter, Grayson Tucker. 16 home runs on the year, 3rd most in the ACC. And a week ago was named National Player of the Week.
Coach Morales tried to test her hands down there. Thought she'd play that off the wall, and it almost got her.
Big smile on her face with her team looking good early in game 2. Held to just 4 singles last night. Tonight, already 4 extra base hits. Full count on the way. Carrico only had to throw 8 pitches in the 1st inning, got some help from her defense as a Georgia Tech runner was thrown out at the plate. Poked over to short, Rose with the throw, and Tucker just beats it out. 2 aboard with no outs.
Well, Tucker pulls this off-speed outside pitch just deep enough in the hole that she can get down the first baseline. And knowing that was an infield single, she was hustling It beats that by a hair.
3 straight hits to start off the 3rd inning. Here is Addison Leshber. Taking a huge lead off second. Is Medina.
Leshber showing bunt to see how Virginia Tech was going to play the bunt defense.
Leshber, 285 hitter. Reached in 19 of her last 20 entering the series. Spent her first 2 years at Minnesota. But really the offensive numbers power-wise exploded over the last 2 years with Georgia Tech. Nearly tripled her home runs. One and two. Georgia Tech already with 7 hits through technically just the first 2 innings. No outs here in the 3rd. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Carrico.
This is the first time Carrico has really stretched that rise ball up and above the belt. You see that up by the letters. That was more over the plate than ideally you want, but she did get it up enough to get under the bat of Leshber.
Here's Reese Hunter. She's had a hot bat in the series, 3 for 4 through a game and a half. And she takes strike 1.
Well, Virginia Tech, knowing how well Hunter is hitting that changeup for a first pitch strike, it's about as much of a tip of a cap you're going to get from a pitcher saying, hey, I respect what you're doing at the plate.
Hunter, Rose is underneath it. So it went from 2 on with no outs to 2 on with 2 away.
Well, these are the opportunities Coach Morales talked about having to cash in. You got the home run from Willer, but a runner in scoring position with no outs, and she has not moved. That is not the Georgia Tech offense she wants to see. She wants to see them moving runners and driving them in.
Aldridge keeps that one in front of her, throws to 3rd, but sliding in safely is Medina as Tucker moved on to 2nd.
Incredibly great read by Holly Medina on that one. Saw the ball down in the dirt. Ricocheted just far enough away from Yeager that Medina thought she could leg that out. Backside slide.
Vukadinovic over to 2nd, and the throw is made by Castine. So Georgia Tech strands 2, but they do tack on another thanks to Alyssa Willer. 13th bomb of the year, 2nd of the night for Georgia Tech. The Ramblin' Wreck up by 3. Hey, souvenir as well. Starting next week, we'll have every ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship game right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. The tourney starts Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. The All-ACC crew will have post-game shows after each and every match. The bottom of the third inning underway. 9-1 and 2 hitters up for Virginia Tech. The Hokies and their powerful offense still looking for hit number 1 on the night. They've led off each of the first 2 innings with a walk, but nothing following that.
Yeah, they haven't even been able to move that runner from first into scoring position. Minus those walks, Sydney Watts done a pretty efficient job of attacking the strike zone. Defense has helped out a little bit, snagging some line drives.
1-1 to Annika Rose. Pete Demore has called her one of the best defensive shortstops in the nation. Rarely makes a miscue at short. And hitting nearly 270 this year. Rose, that one off the glove of Watts. And for the 3rd straight inning, the leadoff hitter reaches for Virginia Tech. First hit of the night.
Well, Rose, this one off the end of the bat, but just enough. And as a pitcher, you either jump and snag that or you let that go so your shortstop has a play off the hop. But Watts slows that one down. So Rose, first hit of the night for Virginia Tech.
Second time through the order now. Strike 1 to Addison Foster, who walked in the first inning. 3rd and 4th innings have been huge for the Hokies this year, outscoring their opponents by 85 runs. Foster, a .432 hitter, the junior transfer from Stetson. Reached 3 times last night, 3 times Wednesday night in the midweek affair against Liberty. Watches that one cross the plate for strike 2.
The left-handed hitters of Virginia Tech are going to have to start to attack that outside pitch. That is where Sydney Watts has been primarily beating them. Like we've seen on the flip side, Georgia Tech ready for that outer half, the lefties at least.
Payoff pitch from Watts. Addison Foster coming off an incredible month of March. Drove in 19 runs in 18 games. Hit better than .480. Locked in a duel here. The 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up from Watts. And there will be an 8th.
And you can see Watts just continuing with that screwball away to these left-handed hitters. Foster asking there, am I falling? And she is just kind of falling, like she's not really balanced while she's attacking that pitch. She's almost out of her legs and just flailing the bat to stay alive.
That one will reach the stands. Oh, and the grab is made. Standing ovation.
Well, I'm not sure if there's a relation, but a Michelle Chatfield fan
Right.
goes ahead and makes the catch.
Look at the focus.
He was ready for that one.
Locked in. Another 3-2 offering. And again, fouled off. There you go. You earned it, my man.
Well, Watts went outside, 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 then tried to get the jam shot inside, but this fan caught it instead of someone on the field and tries to beat her outside again. So it's a matter right now, a little guessing game between her and Foster and what corner she's going to go to.
9th pitch of the at-bat. And what an at-bat it has turned into between Addison Foster and Sydney Watts. center right at Medina, so Watts of the Yellow Jackets get the best of that one. One away. So here comes Jordan Lynch, who ended game number 1 last night with a walk-off homer in Virginia Tech's 16th run rule win of the year.
That Jordan Lynch went down and absolutely drove that one out of the park. And that pitch on the outer half, but moving downwards as opposed to away from her, the way the screwball is going to from Watts.
Has reached in all but 4 games this year. Multiple streaks of 16 consecutive games reaching base. Leading the team in so many offensive categories, including home runs. Last night was her 14th of the year.
Yeah, broke a tie between her and Nora Abramovich.
The right fielder falling down for a moment. That's going to drop in front of her. Vukadinovic in right. Couldn't get to it. The throw gets away, meanwhile, from third. And 2 in scoring position for the Hokies.
Well, this a rise ball, and Lynch doesn't get all of it. In fact, she pulls around it a little bit, and so this holds up in the air, but Vukadinovic falling and unable to recover. And then makes a great throw, but Tucker unable to catch it and make a tag. Unfortunate break for Sydney Watts. She got one of the hottest hitters to hit a routine fly ball. And they're unable to get second out.
And Georgia Tech's defense, especially their outfield, had been so good last night. A number of highlight reel grabs. But now Virginia Tech threatening, 2 in scoring position, 1 away for Nora Abramovich, the team leader in RBIs. That one misses. 49 runs driven in. And a patient hitter as well. 27 free passes for the sophomore. And works the count 2-0. When you look at the improvement from a year ago, she only made 1 start last season. This year, started every single game and second on the team in home runs. A nice job behind the dish by Hunter of hanging on to that one.
Pete DeMore talks about how hard she worked in the offseason, making probably the biggest jump from a freshman to sophomore year that he's ever had on his roster.
There is strike 1 from Watts. She pretty much cruised through the first 2 innings. We'll see what happens here. 3-1 on the way. The count goes full.
So far in crucial situations, Sydney Watts has been able to come back. Battled that 12th pitch at bat against Addison Foster to get the fly out. Really even had a fly out off the bat of Jordan Lynch. Should really be looking at 2 outs and a runner up first right now.
Watts ready to go. Fought off by Abramovich. A number of her teammates have said she is the hardest hitter they've ever seen. Has the fastest exit velo on a home run this year. One that left the yard at 84 miles an hour. Rips one foul.
Pete DeMore went ahead and said he thinks one of the best athletes, not just best hitters, one of the best athletes in the ACC. Excited not just for this year, but what's to come for this athlete.
And it misses. The bases will be loaded for the Hokies.
Well, Watts trying to see if she can get Abramovich to chase. I think she thought that might have hit the top of the zone, but that definitely up a little bit. But again, the sophomore showing some patience.
Here comes Kylie Aldridge, the senior who has reached in 27 straight games. Fouls one back. Aldridge went yard last night in the series opener. It was her 7th home run of the season.
Well, there you see Kylie Aldridge. Coach Pete DeMore will talk to you. Year over year, just has gotten better and better, and the power numbers speak for themselves there. An increase in production of extra base hits every single year of her career.
Aldridge now behind 1 and 2. After that one fouled off into the stands, this is a player who rarely strikes out. 2 strikeouts all year in 124 at bats. But reaches for that one, and a monster K by Sydney Watts.
Well, you said that, and I was about to say, if you're Sydney Watts, you're trying to figure out what location is going to induce weak contact. She goes ahead and stretches the zone with this screwball, and Aldridge just can't lay off of that one. And Watts wins that battle.
And what a way to go out for Sydney Watts. The strikeout 2 away, but a new pitcher taken over with the bases loaded. Entering the game with the bases loaded is Georgia Tech's go-to reliever, the senior righty Kenley Hillary. What do you make of the decision, Kat?
Well, Sydney Watts has had a little bit of trouble against right-handed hitters, free passes, and so making a change here as they are halfway through their 2nd time through the order, not allowing Virginia Tech to get more looks at Watts. And Kenley Hillary going to be very different. She's going to use a lot of changeups that induce weak contact. She can hit all quadrants with pitches that move, but she's going to be a little bit slower, and the whole goal here is to get a ground ball.
Facing the junior Zoe Yeager, who's hitting .341 on the season, the All-ACC 3rd-teamer. Went 1 for 3 with the double last night, a 2-run double. There's a strike from Hillary, making her team-leading 24th relief appearance of the year.
Well, that's the off-speed pitch. And it just floats in there, and she can locate it well. So for Virginia Tech, they're going to have to be on time with it and see it up.
This is outside. Yeager with 41 runs driven in heading into this series. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Georgia Tech trying to get out of a jam. Virginia Tech had the bases loaded with just 1 away. Now it's 2-2 with 2 outs. This one poked foul.
I like the way Hillary works. She works quick, gets her sign. But even after she let go of that pitch, knowing that Jaeger went ahead and tried to pull it, Hillary just turns around and knows that's foul. I'm going back to work, not making eye contact. All business.
The 2-2. Full count on the way with nowhere to put her. Jaeger is one of the most patient hitters on the team. Walked in the second inning. 29 walks on the year. And there is number 30, and it will bring in the first run of the night for the Hokies.
When you're playing against a team that can put up offensive numbers like Virginia Tech, you can't give them an inch, and unfortunately that misplay in right field has set up a big situation for Virginia Tech here.
Michelle Chatfield to left field. Willer is there, and the grab is made. The inning comes to an end, but Virginia Tech gets on the board. We'll talk to their head coach, Pete D'Amour, coming up after the break. You're watching ACC softball presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We hit the fourth inning here in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech getting on the board a moment ago. We're now joined by their head coach, Pete D'Amour. Coach, what are you seeing out of your offense right now? Obviously breaking through a little bit in the last inning.
Yeah, we hit 4 balls on the screws the first 2 innings, just didn't get through. So I told them just keep doing it. You know, we're having good at-bats. Last inning we left 3 on, but we were right there, so good to answer back.
Coach making the change to see Avery Layton here. What do you expect, or what do you want to see out of her against this Georgia Tech offense?
Just attack the strike zone, make it move up and down, mix the change up in, and yeah, just get us back in the dugout.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Avery Layton taking over for Bree Carrico, the freshman, 7-1 on the year. Did pick up her first career save on Wednesday night, working 3 scoreless innings.
I like what he said. He wants her to attack the strike zone. Bree Carrico normally attacks the strike zone and works efficiently. She was a little bit more wild, throwing more pitches than normal and outside the zone tonight. But as a pitcher, he wants to see her attack and control the at-bat, as opposed to Georgia Tech being comfortable in the box and controlling it from their end.
That one fouled off by Madison Duffel. Both starting pitchers out of the game for now. Virginia Tech's pitching staff, it came in tonight number 7 in the nation in hits allowed per game. At just 5 so far. They've given up 7 hits, 3 runs by the Yellow Jackets. Well, Pete D'Amour said that Layton has an aces mentality. She's come out of the bullpen for this appearance. likes her competitiveness out there. She evens up the count at 2.
Yeah, he said that, well, she's not one of the top 2. She is working. She has that north to south movement. You heard him say he wants her to go up, he wants her to go down, but he also wants her to be able to mix in that change up. So buzz it up there, 68, and then slow it down just enough. Woo.
Blows it past Madison Duffel for strikeout number 1 on the night for Layton.
Well, Layton established that outside corner and then was able to elevate on that outside corner, and Duffel not able to lay off that rise ball. Nice break on that pitch by Avery Layton.
Layton, 49 strikeouts in just over 47 innings. Here is Emma Simon, who did some damage back in the 2nd inning. A 2-run blast by the sophomore. Layton has come out of the pen firing.
Well, Layton went drop ball in to Simon the first pitch. I think that was supposed to be more elevated than it was, but you see there, even in her brief outings, Layton over 7 strikeouts per 7 innings.
Chopped up the middle. Rose handles that one, making it look easy. The stellar defensive shortstop, 2 away.
And the other aspect that is going to catch Georgia Tech a little bit off guard is the fact she does throw so hard. She's in the upper 60s, and that's faster than Carrico. You can tell on that last ground ball from Simon, not able to get the barrel and through it as quickly as she did against Carrico.
We saw Georgia Tech have trouble with Emma Mazzarone's speed last night, managing just 4 singles. The first pitch to Reagan Wall, who grounded out in the 2nd inning. Sophomore transfer from James Madison. One of the fastest players on the team, if she can reach.
You see Bree Carrico. As a pitcher, you know how much of the game rests on your shoulders, and when you don't perform like either you're used to, like you expect yourself, obviously tonight, not a night that she is typical for her, kind of beat yourself up over it. You can see she's taking it hard, but they're having conversations there saying, hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. I tell young pitchers all the time, there is not a pitcher in this world who has not gotten beat, who has not had absolutely terrible stuff on a night that you need to have great stuff. Or even if you throw well, just happen to get beat because somebody hits a really good pitch. It happens to everybody, and it's a matter of how you bounce back. So the question right now is that conversation, does she feel like she threw well? Does she know she didn't throw well? But, you know, what felt off? There's a lot of conversations to happen, but it's a team game at the end of the day, and your offense has to pick you up.
And her teammate does pick up the Hokies. Avery Layton with an inning-ending strikeout.
Well, the freshman Avery Layton comes in, makes a statement, working ahead. 2 strikeouts in this inning. This one, a little rise ball screwing away from Wall there. A big statement.
Tomorrow we cap off the big 3-game baseball series between number 2 Georgia Tech and 3rd-ranked North Carolina from Chapel Hill. North Carolina hopes to finish off the sweep, while Tech is looking to steal Game 3. Game starts at 1 Eastern on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. This series will wrap up tomorrow as well. I've seen 2 great crowds on the first 2 nights of this series between Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Hey, listen, you could go to the spring football game earlier today and just walk across the street and enjoy some softball. Seems like a lot of people have done that.
I was like, I'm not so sure some of those people out in left field didn't do that.
Right. Hang out here all day as there's a swing and a miss from Rachel Castine, who lined out in the 2nd inning. Virginia Tech, the 11th highest scoring team in the nation so far, has been held to 1 run off 2 hits.
Sydney Watts did a good job coming in and escaping trouble. A couple free passes, but able to work around them for the most part. Should have been out of the 3rd inning before giving up a run, but then gave way to Hillary, who, man, that changeup is just absolutely devastating when she can pair it with her upper 60s rise ball.
Fooled Castine badly. Strikeout for Hillary.
Well, Hillary, this changeup back-to-back, but this one lower in the zone. Watching Castine reach for the first one. She throws it, but makes that drop out of the zone. A great job by Hunter back there. Make sure she applies the tag, but a nice first out for Hillary.
There's Gabby Mizell hitting .320 in her first season with the Hokies. Takes strike 1. Pete Demore said she's got the best bat speed on the team. 6 homers on the year. You look up and down this Virginia Tech lineup, somebody is bound to break through sooner or later. I mean, so many talented bats.
Well, and talking to Coach Demore, you heard him say they barreled up 4 balls, and they did. They just happened to be right at people. And sometimes that's just the way the ball falls.
That will fall into left center. Mizell rounding first, digging for 2, and she slides in there with a 1-out double and a celebration to boot.
Well, and to Coach Demore's point, they were hitting the ball, and you just have to keep swinging, and it'll eventually fall, and it does right here for Mizell. Medina cuts that off before the wall, but the speed of Mizell gets herself a double, another extra base hit for the Hokies.
That is their 92nd double of the season, 3rd most in the country. There's that bat speed Pete Demore was talking about. 40% of their hits on the season going for extra bases. So Mizell in scoring position for Pete Demore's squad. Here comes Annika Rose, who singled in the 3rd inning. She takes the first pitch to center, pretty much right at Medina, 2 away.
And you can tell Virginia Tech is ready for the changeup that Hillary offers. Now it's a matter of being able to stay through it. Rose under that one just a little bit for Medina to be able to make a play. But Mizell did a really good job of keeping that barrel through it and got it through the infield.
Back up to the top of the order with 2 outs here is Addison Foster. She walked in the 1st inning. Just has been terrific in conference play. Came in tonight hitting .460 in ACC games. .429 overall hitter.
As Virginia Tech starts to see Hillary more and understand when she's using that changeup, the key is going to be for her to be able to throw the hard pitch, that curveball there, a curveball inside a rise ball with consistency.
Behind 1 and 2 to Hillary.
With a changeup pitcher, you can pitch backwards where you can go primarily soft, but you have to be able to prove that you can throw hard for the hitters to have to respect it.
Foster does not chase that one. Tech struck out just once last night in the series opener.
Well, great job by Hunter there, knowing Hillary was going to stretch the zone. You saw her move out, ready to block that one and keep it in front in case Mizell decided to take off.
Payoff pitch. Oh, fooled Foster. She went around, and an inning-ending strikeout for Hillary and the Yellow Jackets.
Well, Hillary using that changeup against Addison Foster here. She set it up. She went off the plate this time, almost in the same location, a little closer. Foster can't hold up.
The Women's College World Series coverage begins May 28th on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. And Virginia Tech are looking to make it 7 straight years in a regional. The question is, will they host? Again, number 10 in the top 25 rankings. She's enjoying tonight's game, and number 19 in the RPI entering the series. And Hokies pitcher Avery Layton begins inning number 5 with a strike to Alyssa Willer.
Well, Layton came out in the 4th and absolutely swayed some momentum Virginia Tech's way, just controlling each at bat. The freshman going to have to continue that here in the 5th, though.
Both relievers pretty strong for the most part out of the pen.
Correct. And I think both teams used that relief opportunity to their advantage.
Willer chops one to Rose. Seven in a row now. Sat down by Virginia Tech pitching. Here is Holly Medina, who has had a fantastic series at the plate and in the field as well. 2 gold glove grabs. Easy for me to say, Kat. I'll let you take it from here on out.
2 gold
glove
grabs
last night, and 2 for 2 at the plate.
Yeah. Having a weekend. Was on SportsCenter, as we mentioned, for the first grab of the night last night, number 3 play.
Yeah.
Hasn't had an opportunity to make a SportsCenter play yet today, but has been busy out there in center field. You gotta love the energy she plays with. You see it defensively, but even as she's sliding into second earlier today, just really fired up at all times when they are able to capitalize.
Sends one to left field. Tracking that one is Abramovich. Ever since Layton came out of the bullpen, Georgia Tech's offense hasn't really done anything statistically. No hits, no walks, obviously no runs through an inning and 2/3 against Layton. Here's Grayson Tucker, a 2 for 2 Both those hits coming against the starter, Bree Carrico.
I definitely think you see the speed again of Leighton really playing havoc to the Georgia Tech hitters. Everyone late and or getting jammed. The 2 ground balls so far off the bats of Georgia Tech have been jam jobs, 2 rows at shortstop.
Tucker has homered in 3 of her last 4 games heading into tonight. One of the best home run hitters in the entire ACC. Leighton has to hurry, scoops it up the toss, and it gets away from Chatfield.
Now this, another jam job. You see Leighton, it just makes contact off the plate. Unfortunately, Leighton a little late jumping to get that one. But Georgia Tech not making hard contact off the freshman.
So runner on, 2 away for Addison Leshber. For 2 tonight. Does have 12 home runs on the year.
Leshber looking to get going here in this series. Last night wasn't able to come through with runners on base. 0 for 2 tonight with just a weak ground ball to first base.
A 3-0 count to the cleanup hitter.
This is the first at bat we've seen Avery Leighton not be around the strike zone. Been in control for majority of the at bats here so far this game.
Leighton ready with the 3-1. Works it full.
I'm just gonna go back to that 69 miles an hour. It looks hard right now. You can tell even there, Leshber, excuse me, late on that foul ball.
Do it again.
I don't really know the physics and the science behind all of it, but I know hitters will tell you someone who throws hard and up in the zone at night, it looks even harder. I didn't throw hard enough, I think, for that to matter, but I know as a coach there have been times where I have a pitcher that's, you know, mid-60s, you throw a night game, and it looks harder for whatever reason to the hitters.
Leshber showing patience there. So 2 on with 2 away for Georgia Tech.
One of the first changeups we've seen from Leighton, and she just holds on to that one a little bit too high in the zone, was trying to see if she could freeze Leshber. First time against a freshman, Georgia Tech has been able to have back-to-back quality at-bats.
Running into trouble a bit for the first time since coming out of the bullpen, facing a hot hitter in Reese Hunter. Big swing and a miss from the senior. 8 home runs this year, 21 for her career. 2 for 3 last night, and 1 for 2 this evening.
I like the smile after that one. I think she knew she took a big hack.
And now behind 0-2.
That's a great spot by Leighton, using that drop ball in right at the kneecaps. And now Hunter has to know she can go up, she can go down lower. She still has an off speed.
Leighton ended the last inning with a strikeout. Went outside, fouled off by Hunter.
Interesting there. Yeager jumped way out. I know a lot of fans that think, oh, you see the catcher, and as a hitter, you're watching the pitcher, so you don't necessarily see the catcher. Sometimes you can sense a movement or feel or hear them. They move behind you.
The 0-2. This one to left field. Abramovich is there. And the threat is over. Georgia Tech strands 2. It remains a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning in Blacksburg. Georgia Tech still up by 2. Yellow Jackets with a couple of home runs tonight. Off Hokie starter Bree Carrico. Virginia Tech's offense 1 for 12 with runners on so far. Virginia Tech has allowed 8 hits. That's one shy of their season high for hits allowed. Let's see what their offense does coming up here in the bottom half. 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up. Jordan Lynch over to second. Duffel was there. Virginia Tech, ever since the first inning, they're hitting the ball hard, but a lot of them right at the Yellow Jacket fielders.
Well, that's the 4th line drive. There have been a couple of fly balls to the outfield that are deep enough but playable, and you see that sinking line drive. Duffel stays with it. A first out for Hillary. But there are nights as an offense or as a hitter, sometimes the ball just finds the defense. It doesn't find the green, it doesn't find the hole for you, and right now, again, Pete Demore can't be too upset. They've had quite a few quality at-bats. Things just haven't fallen their way.
And this is to Nora Abramovich. Last night it was the defense finding the balls. Some great defensive plays by Medina in center and Willer in left. Tonight it's the opposite.
Well, and you tip your hat because against an offense like Georgia Tech, one misstep, one line drive breaks through and the momentum can shift rather quickly. So Georgia Tech handling the ball well. That one miscue in right field, the only blemish, and goes down as a hit, even though I'm sure you talked to Vukadinovich and she'll say she should have caught it.
Ooh, big swing and a miss. And another strikeout for Hillary.
Well, we got a big reaction out of Hillary on that one. Wasn't the changeup this time. She uses the rise ball up in the zone. She keeps that tight. Nice location for that rise ball, and Hillary was excited. She struck someone out on something other than a changeup.
Well, again, it's a Virginia Tech offense that only struck out once last night. Hillary alone has fanned 3 in 2 innings of work.
Hillary known for her changeup, so when you can get a swing and miss on one of your other pitches, it allows you to know that you're in and around the zone enough that they have to respect everything you're throwing.
She's just the 3rd pitcher this year to strike out this batter, Kylie Aldridge, who struck out in the 3rd inning. Just her 3rd K of the year. Georgia Tech has not won in Blacksburg in 5 years. Lost 10 of their last 11 overall to the Hokies. There's a strike from Hillary.
Oh, Hillary trying to use that changeup to Kylie Aldrich. Missed low in the zone the first three. That one able to find the zone.
Chopped over to third and handled by Tucker. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Hillary and the Yellow Jackets. We've completed 5 here from Tech Softball Park. You're watching ACC Softball presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We hit the 6th inning here in Blacksburg. Alex Loeb and Kat Osterman with you. And Kat, for Georgia Tech, if they can hang on, this would be a huge win for the Yellow Jackets. Enter the series kind of on the outside of the postseason bubble looking in. Around 48 in RPI. They are trying to pull off their first top 25 win of the season. And still 2 innings to go, but looking good so far.
Yeah, Georgia Tech only has 2 ACC series left, this one and one against Florida State. A win here in this series would obviously boost their RPI some. A victory over a top 25 team, as you mentioned, as well helps them continue to keep that ground, to stay above 500, to be in that conversation first and foremost.
Made a regional last year. Again, the record has to be at least 500 to qualify for the postseason. Showing bunt was Paige Vukadinovic. Eileen Morales' squad 27 and 23 on the year. And finds its way to left field, a base knock for Vukadinovic, and now the offense starting to break through a little bit against Layton. I want to remind you, our next All Access, the ACC Live, premieres Tuesday night. You'll get unprecedented access into the lives of student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, and fans. It's on at 10 Eastern Tuesday night right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. So 3 of the last 4 batters have now reached against Layton. It's Madison Duffel taking strike 1.
Well, for Georgia Tech, it's important that they start to figure out how to put the barrel on ball, have consecutive quality at bats. So that way Virginia Tech has to second guess putting Layton in again, possibly in game 3. You make adjustments and show you can barrel the ball up. It now forces the opposing staff to have to figure out, okay, which combinations of arms might work in game 3. Sundays of any conference series is a grind because everybody has now 6, 7, 8 at bats. Usually you've seen at least 2, if not all the arms on a staff. You have to play the matchup in the guessing game.
Georgia Tech with 9 hits. That is tied for the most allowed in a game all season by Virginia Tech pitching. Yellow Jackets were held to 4 singles yesterday. Different story tonight as the count goes 2-2.
Well, right now, Layton doing a good job. She uses that, looks like a screwball, kind of up spin, so it could be a low rise that she just tails out, but it's staying at the knees and moving away from these lefties just enough.
Duffel has already struck out twice, sends one over to third, in and out of the glove of Lynch, and can't recover in time. Two aboard for the Yellow Jackets off the miscue at the hot corner.
Well, a normal, sure-handed defense. This ball hops, and you just see Lynch coming in. Almost takes her eyes off it to make the transfer before she has it in her glove, and falls out just enough that the speedy Duffel able to get down the line.
Emma Simon was showing bunt. She went yard in the second inning. A 2-run blast. What has turned out so far, at least, to be a huge hit with her team up by 2. Can't get down the bunt, 0-2.
Well, Layton has vertical movement up and down. She went up first, and Simon fouled it off. That one, a drop ball that Simon didn't stay down through. Eileen Morales, knowing how important every run is, trying to get these runners in scoring position.
For Eileen Morales' offense, night and day from game 1. 4 extra base hits tonight, including 2 home runs. That's what she preached when we spoke with her before this series. She knew small ball wasn't going to beat this Virginia Tech offense.
No, you have to be able to slug with Virginia Tech and be able to capitalize. Hoping one swing of the bat can produce multiple runs.
Aldridge hanging on to that one for dear life. The 1-2. Aldridge doesn't know where it is, and both runners advance.
Well, right now, you can tell, even though Layton 0-2, trying to throw waste pitches, chase pitches, but overdoing it. First one almost got away from Aldridge up over her head. That one in the dirt.
Simon, and it drops foul. Simon, sophomore out of Atlanta, has driven in 18 runs on the season. .265 hitter. Ready to go. Over to short, Rose will go home. And the play at the plate is made as they get Vukadinovic.
Well, Simon with a ground ball, and Vukadinovic on ground ball goes, so she's going, but doesn't get in any type of rundown. But on the backside, Duffel doesn't move from second base. As soon as the throw went home, Duffel should have been moving into scoring position to third herself. I think Eileen Morales looked at her after the play and kind of threw her hands up like, why aren't you here?
So Duffel is over at second, Simon at first. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up. Gracie King, the freshman out of Iowa, will bat in place of Reagan Wall in the 9 spot. Wall was 0 for 2. Big spot for the freshman with 2 on. King, a .224 hitter on the year, a couple of home runs. First pitch misses. Seeing anything different out of Layton over the last couple of innings?
Well, she came out firing right around the zone, and then as Georgia Tech has started to make contact, put balls in play, starting to stretch a little bit too much to where Georgia Tech is not offering. And I wouldn't have offered at that last pitch if I were Gracie King either. But as we said, against Simon, she started the at-bat 0-2 and then lost a little bit of her control.
1-2 to King. Layton with a couple of strikeouts so far. Misses there.
Well, it's that pitch right there that I would like to see Layton, not necessarily go above King's head, but can you go through the letters up to kind of the bill of her helmet? See if you can get the chase. It's a little more enticing.
Full count on the way. One more ball loads the bases. And the top of the order is due up. Layton ready. How about that pinch hit appearance by the freshman, earning the walk, bases loaded, and arguably the team's hottest hitter coming up to the plate in Alyssa Willer.
Oh, a great job by Gracie King. You could tell that her game plan was to see something down in the zone. She didn't flinch at a single rise ball that Avery Layton offered, which to me was interesting. That's the pitch they went with in a full count, and the fact that King hadn't even budged. I would have gone back down and in, forced her to have to stay through a drop. But Georgia Tech in business here against the freshman.
So Alyssa Willer in the leadoff spot coming up to the plate. She is 1 for 3 tonight, but that one hit was a big one. A solo blast in the 3rd inning. 13th home run of the season. Leads the team in batting average as well, walks and doubles. 5 home runs in her last 10 games. Coming up in a huge spot here. And takes ball 1 from Layton. Layton looked terrific coming out of the pen, struck out 2 of the first 3 batters she faced, worked a 1-2-3 4th inning. But now Georgia Tech trying to break it open against her. In there for strike 1.
Well, starting with Madison Duffel, this is the 2nd time through the lineup, so they have seen Layton once. Been on a tear, 7 extra base hits in her last 5.
Willer off of the pitcher and into left field. 1 run is going to score. Here comes a second, and Georgia Tech goes up 5-1. That one ricocheting off of Layton. And Willer comes through yet again.
Well, this a rise ball down the middle, and Willer takes it right back up the middle. As you mentioned, off the foot of Layton, and that ricochets out into left field, allowing 2 runs to score. But Georgia Tech starting to cash in with runners on base tonight, and that's what Eileen Morales wanted to see, was take advantage of the chances they have. Athletic trainer out to check on Avery Layton and her foot. I think she said, I'm fine, it hit right here.
10 hits now for the Yellow Jackets tonight. That is the most allowed by the Hokies all season long. And Layton still not out of the woods. 2 in scoring position. Only 1 out for Holly Medina, who's 2 for 3 tonight. Double and a single. The corner's playing in for Medina. There's your strike. Again, Georgia Tech hasn't won here in 5 years. They haven't beaten a top 25 team all season long. Medina over to first. Delayed throw, and it pulled the catcher Aldridge off the plate. It's a 6-1 lead, and everybody's safe. There was a bit of hesitation over at first by Chatfield, and it cost them.
Yeah, this is an easy ground ball. Medina pulls it, and it goes right to Chatfield, but Chatfield, you see there, didn't set her feet. She almost felt like she was going to tag a runner and then realized that Wall was running home, didn't set her feet, made a throw that was a little wide, didn't allow Aldridge to be able to apply a tag. And right now, Georgia Tech just putting all the pressure on this Hokie defense.
A 3-run inning so far for Georgia Tech after they only scored 2 runs in the entire game last night. Three hits in this inning alone. Here's Grayson Tucker, who is 3 for 3. Pops it up. 3 players converge. And Lynch manages to make the grab. Intense moments for Virginia Tech.
I saw that play unfolding. You saw Lynch and Chatfield both calling and waving their hand. And thankfully at the last second, Chatfield bailed out for Lynch to be able to clinch that.
And by the way, this has been a terrific defense for Virginia Tech all year. Number 2 in the ACC in fielding percentage, number 1 a year ago. And popped up, and making the grab is Lynch. But the deficit has grown larger for Virginia Tech, now down by 5 and running out of time. Next Saturday, we've got a couple of softball game 2s for you in both of these 3-game series. Virginia Tech taking on North Carolina. And it's sure to be a home run derby. 2 monster offenses here in Blacksburg at 3 Eastern. And it's 12th ranked Florida State taking on Georgia Tech at Russ Chandler Stadium. Doubleheader right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Kat, there has already been a number of upsets throughout the country this week. And Georgia Tech 6 outs away from pulling off another one.
Yeah, it's quite the upset week. I mean, you talk about just the top 4 in the country. Bama lost to Samford. Texas Tech lost to Texas State. OU lost to Oklahoma State. Florida lost to Auburn today. Clemson has taken 2 of the first 2 games of the series against Virginia, who's ranked. As this season gets down the stretch, a lot of upsets going on, and sometimes I'll test that to pitchers are now starting to have to really grind through the being tired, and you have to figure out how you're going to be different from game 1 to game 3 as people have scouted.
As Pete Demore looks on, his offense has not been able to solve Kenley Hillary, who has come out of the bullpen and thrown what's going to be now 2 2/3 scoreless. Just 1 hit allowed by Hillary. 1 walk and 3 strikeouts.
Well, Hillary really spinning a gem, using that off-speed pitch, but here later in the innings, using her hard stuff, knowing that Virginia Tech was starting to look for that off-speed pitch. I'm going to give her props getting out of the circle to get that foul ball, though, knowing that her defense is so far back. Leschber wasn't going to have a play on it, and knowing she had a better angle than her catcher to track that one down.
Michelle Chatfield 0 for 2 and now behind 0 2. This Virginia Tech offense came into the game averaging more than 8 runs per contest, 11th highest scoring team in the nation, top 10 in the country in just about every major offensive category. But held to 1 run off 3 hits so far. Roped over to third, and that one will get past Tucker. And now the tying run will come to the plate. Excuse me, it is no longer 3-1. A few more runners and then we'll see the tying run, but Virginia Tech in desperate need of base runners. And they get one there with Chatfield.
Yeah, until last inning, this would have been the tying run, but we have been talking about it. Virginia Tech really hasn't had the breaks, a couple line shots right at people. That might be the break they need, but Georgia Tech right now defensively and the way Hillary's spinning it have made it tough for them to have consecutive quality at bats.
3-1 about 5 minutes ago, right? Real time, total time, 10?
10, 8,
No,
something
not
like
going to give me that. Here's Rachel Castine, 0 for 2, was robbed of a home run last night. Fouls it off, and another 0-2 count in favor of Kenley Hillary. This Hokies offense right now tied for the fewest runs they've scored all year. They're trying to get going. Chatfield over at first with a single. It's kind of been the story for Virginia Tech on the season. Some games they put up monster offensive performances. Last night, 10 runs in their 16th run rule win of the year. And we'll follow that up. Looking like a very different team at times. Looking for that consistency here in the final few weeks of the regular season.
Well, in this home stretch, we've talked about it, it's the grind. It's the home stretch of season. You're getting to the end of conference play. You're very familiar with each other.
Castine over to third. The throw to second, and just in time to get the lead runner. And bounced off Tucker at third, but she made a nice recovery.
Very heads up by Tucker, knowing this ball was hit so hard that she has a play at second. Not going to get the ground ball double play, but hey, get the lead runner, get a second out for your defense.
Just zero hesitation by Grayson Tucker. 2 away for Gabby Mizell. Takes strike 1. I mean, Hillary continues to just fire strikes in there.
Well, Hillary extremely comfortable in relief. That is primarily how she has been used. So the game on the line.
Throw over to first. Just getting back was Castine.
I like the snap throw by Hunter. I think if Leschber hadn't been falling forward, they might have been able to get Castine over there at first.
Hunter's got a great arm. She's thrown out 30 base runners in her career. Oh, 2 on the way. Mizell sends it back foul. Mizell, one of just 2 hitters tonight to get a hit off of Hillary. She doubled off of her in the 4th, but was stranded. Strikeout number 4 on the night for Kenley Hillary.
Well, Kinley Hillary continues to baffle this Virginia Tech offense. Just as we think they're starting to maybe make some headway, she goes ahead and just absolutely freezes them. Another changeup. Momentum still on the Yellow Jacket side as they look to extend their lead.
In the last inning, Georgia Tech's offense padded their lead. Coming through with 3 base knocks. Alyssa Willard driving in 2. Medina tacking on another. And it is a 5-run Yellow Jackets lead. As we begin the 7th, here is Reese Hunter facing Avery Layton. Again, Georgia Tech looking to win in Blacksburg for the first time in 5 years. But really help their postseason chances this season. Top 50 in the RPI. But really, ideally, Kat, where do you want to be if you're an at-large team in the RPI? You've got to be, they entered tonight 48, obviously have to be a little bit above that at the very least.
Well, you want to be probably in the low 40s at the least, but a lot of it also will be determined on your conference RPI. So Georgia Tech does have that going, as the ACC RPI is 3. They are the 3rd toughest conference as far as RPI goes. But when you're on that bubble, you sit on Selection Sunday, really the Saturday before, holding your breath as conference tournaments end, hoping that there aren't some upsets that allow 2 teams to get in from leagues that are typically 1-bid leagues.
Beating the top 10 team in the nation would certainly help their chances. Swing and a miss from Hunter. 2-2.
Well, in the past, things that have come into play are your last stretch, like your last 10 games, you know. And it was 2016 or 2017 when I was coaching at Tech State. We went on a 10-0, 11-0 run at the last part of season, and that was a big reason why we got over the bubble to get in, was because we were playing hot at the end of season.
Well, conversely, if you're Virginia Tech, you entered the series 19th in RPI. You're trying to potentially host a regional, a loss to an unranked team that has a losing record in conference play would be awfully tough to swallow. There's a strikeout of Hunter.
So for Virginia Tech, losing 1 game won't hurt as bad as losing the series. Layton, excuse me, doing a great job painting that inner half. That drop ball, it is a nasty pitch to those righties if she can use that consistently.
Layton with 3 strikeouts. 3 runs allowed in 3 1/3, 2 of those earned.
But as we mentioned, this is so important for Georgia Tech. because after this, they only have 4 games. They have a midweek against Furman. They play Florida State. That last weekend of conference is their bye weekend.
Yeah. Crucial. Vukadinovic scooped up by Leighton, the toss to first. Quickly 2 away. In the top of the 7th inning. In the bottom half, Virginia Tech will send up their 9-1-2 hitters. There's Madison Duffel, who reached on an error in the 6th inning.
We talked about it a little bit last night when there was an error for Georgia Tech, how if you give Virginia Tech an inch, they'll take a mile. And on the flip side, Georgia Tech did that tonight. The error by Lynch on Duffel's ground ball ended up opening the floodgates for that 6th inning.
Virginia Tech hasn't won a game all year when they have trailed entering the 7th. Just 2 wildly different ball games between game 1 and game 2. Virginia Tech dominated last night. 10-2 win, a run rule victory. Held Georgia Tech to 4 hits. Tonight it's almost been the complete opposite. Chopped over to short, backhanded nicely by Rose. That is why Pete Demore has called her one of the best defensive players in the nation. So here we go, bottom of the 7th on the way. Virginia Tech down to their last 3 outs of the night.
ACC Softball is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Georgia Tech had lost 10 of their last 11 to Virginia Tech. They're looking to win here in Blacksburg for the first time in 5 years. 3 outs away. Monica Rose leads things off for Virginia Tech. She has one of their 4 hits on the night. Meanwhile, what a performance in the circle by the reliever Kenley Hillary. 3 1/3 out of the pen. 2 hits allowed, no runs, 4 strikeouts.
Hillary has been absolutely nails for Georgia Tech. But right now, in this moment, you have to still focus on just getting outs. Think of it still as a relief appearance. If you get ahead of yourself and you're trying to win the ball game on each pitch, you kind of get out of your element. To stay in that kind of flow state, have to keep it simple.
2-1, the fans not thrilled with that call.
I don't know, I think Avery Layton's got a couple drop balls that were in that same location.
Top of the order due up after this, but it's been the bottom half that's done most of the damage, and that continues. Rose with her second hit of the night, and the leadoff hitter is aboard. Family Hillary's teammates pumping her up as Virginia Tech heads back to the top of the order. Addison Foster reached once tonight via the walk back in the first inning. Foster, a .426 hitter, takes strike one.
I love seeing Addison Leshber and Grayson Tucker both going up to Hillary and talking life into her. Hey, we got you. You continue to throw your pitches. The defense will work. The big thing to remember, too, is Virginia Tech has to score 5 to continue this game. All you need to do is record outs, and if that means runners advance or somebody gets an extra base, that is okay. Just find a way to record outs.
Virginia Tech 0-6 all year when trailing, entering the 7th inning. And now Foster is ahead 2-1. Former two-time All-A-Sun selection when she was starring for Stetson. Now in her first year with the Hokies. 2-2. Hillary just so efficient out there.
She's efficient. She works quickly, so she also doesn't let there ever be a lull in action.
Foster ropes one to right field, and Virginia Tech in business. Back-to-back singles for the Hokies.
Well, the key for Hillary is going to continue be able to throw your hard stuff around the zone, allow that changeup to work. That last pitch just hung a little bit to Foster. She was able to stay through it.
And here comes the dangerous Jordan Lynch, 1 for 3. Team leader in batting average, home runs, and doubles this year.
And remember, Lynch does have the hardest hit ball off of Hillary. It was a line shot right at Duffel at second base. But she barreled it up well.
Lynch ended last night's game with one swing of the bat, walk-off home run, and that run rule victory. Umpires have a quick conversation. Greg Kratz and David Reinecker. So runners on first and second, no outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Virginia Tech's coaching staff had a quick talk with the umpires. Now we're ready to go. She fouls that one off.
I'm not sure what Mike Lewis over there was getting in the ear about. And pinch run for Lynch. No clue.
Hunter, nice job keeping that one in front of her. Taking a look at the Jordan Lynch heat map. A lot of red in that picture.
Well, and here's the key, working down in the zone and more towards your down and out is probably the, or excuse me, down and in, your best bet. But for Hillary, her best stuff is moving up, and then that changeup, which she keeps locating down and away.
Lynch homered last night, homered Wednesday night against Liberty. Sends one to center field. Medina is there for the first out of the inning. The lead runner, Rose, tags and slides into third.
Oh, big out there for Hillary as Jordan Lynch, one of the hottest hitters for Virginia Tech, able to keep her in the ballpark. Limit that to essentially just a sac fly.
Runners on the corners now for the Hokies with one away, and Nora Abramovich stepping into the batter's box. She walked in the third inning and struck out in the fifth. Take strike one. Abramovich having a breakout year, 13 home runs, second on the team. Skies one to deep left field. Willer tracking it. Now takes a few steps up, makes the grab. Tagging and scoring is Rose, but Virginia Tech is now down to their last out of the night, down by 4.
And that's where Hillary can pitch a little more freely in that situation with the bigger lead. That sac fly right there to score a run, not going to be the difference maker.
It'll be up to Kylie Aldridge to keep the night going. Aldridge homered last night. Her team in danger of getting upset, and also her streak of 27 consecutive games reaching base safely in jeopardy as well, but obviously much more concerned with the former. Hokies down to their last strike.
That changeup, sometimes, even when you expect it and it pops out, sometimes it still makes everyone have to do the double take. Such a great pitch for Hillary.
And there it is. Georgia Tech wins in Blacksburg for the first time in 5 years, pulling off their first top 25 victory of the season.
Well, the difference from yesterday to today was the fact that while Georgia Tech scored first in both ball games, they took the momentum and never relinquished it, and that goes all the way through all 7 innings, including the game-ending strikeout here by Hillary. That changeup, another gem. You can expect it, and it's still hard to time up. But what a performance by the right-hander.
This has been the week of the upset around the nation in college softball, and tonight was no exception. Georgia Tech takes down 10th-ranked Virginia Tech 6-2. For the Yellow Jackets, 6 runs off 11 hits, no errors. For Virginia Tech, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 defensive miscue. Hokies dropped to 38-7, 12-5 in ACC play. The Yellow Jackets 28-23 and 9-11 in ACC play. For Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.